the U.S. and working with youth during the Families Summer Show Cattle Campus and other ag-related events throughout the United States. If you please could join me in giving Mr. Travis Pembroke a big round of applause for coming out and evaluating your Gelbvieh and Balancer show.
Boy, another nice class winner here. Boy, a good stout, featured kind of a female, this big boned and big footed, got some depth of heel to her, got some width of chest and width of base, and you get behind her and she's stout and robust and burly, but yet still keeps it in a nice, refined, pretty feminine kind of a package, if you will. Just a very nice, logical place to start. Heifer that comes here in second, most fits our type and kind. Been picking all day. She's got some bone and foot underneath her, got some true cow power and width to her. Maybe we like to relax her into her spine when she gets out and goes to get her any higher. Young man's heifer that rounds out the class has got a quality look through that front 1/3. Really like the way his neck comes out top side of his shoulder, but just wants to get steep and straight in that shoulder and that knee, wants to get up in the center portion of her spine. Like to change that about her to get her any higher today.
Over on the Gelbvieh side of things, this will be our first class of purebred Gelbvieh females. And before I get going here, just like to say what an honor and a privilege it is to be out here on the green chips today, evaluating a breed of cattle that are sure dear to not only my heart, but my wife's heart as well. We spent some time with the Gelbvieh breed, and it's a breed of cattle that sure have a lot to offer. And the female that comes out here, single entry, purebred, one that sure exemplifies a lot of those traits of females you start from the ground up. One that I think is sure adequate in terms of her overall soundness. She's a clean jointed kind of a female as well, one that gets out, takes a nice long stride. What's really impressive about this one as well is when you get around behind her, she's one that's got some width of pins, carries that down into that lower stifle, really nice. Appreciate the early rib shape you see in a March female like this, one that appears very easy flesh and very broody in her overall kind. Still yet gives you an attractive package out here from the side as well. Nice way to start off this Gelbvieh show today. Congratulations. That's also an automatic division winner.
And first place in Class 1 at automatic division winner goes to entry number 2, T-Bar Jada 168L, exhibited by Memphis Peterson of Pewaukee, South Dakota. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 5 senior heifer calves. Please note, entry number 4 is a scratch. So now entering the ring is Class 5 senior heifer calves. These heifers' date of birth range from September 8th through September 6th of 2022. And placings over in your maintainer show, Class 33. First place goes to entry number 66, TCLC JLO 222K, exhibited by Reed Notting of Atlanta, Illinois. And second place goes to entry number 70, JCC Casey 27K, exhibited by Cameron Jones of Chaplin, Illinois. And third place goes to BMW Fry Lucy 402K, exhibited by Caleb Bam of Findlay, Ohio. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 34 maintainer females. These females' date of birth range from March 29th through March 2nd of 2022.
Boy, really nice class, spring yearlings. The heifer that wins for me, I think she does so relatively easy in my mind. Boy, she's fresh in terms of her condition, especially reader on the backside of her skeletal design. Big bone, big footed, very capacious, stout made kind of female. I would like to see this female maybe just take just a little longer stride off those hind two, but she's so long and so stout, it's a little bit hard to ask of that one. Nice female. The female that comes in second, boy, you like her in their front 1/3. I mean, she is extraordinarily good looking, like the way their neck comes out of the top side of her shoulder. She's very fresh in terms of her chest condition. She's big boned, she's big footed, she's got a nice toe spread to her. I really admire that about that female. She's got a lot of swoop to her belly, if you will, but when you get up on top of her, she probably runs out of gas right behind her shoulders to her forerib, gets a little narrow chested, a little narrow pinned compared to our class winner. But boy, a fun breeding piece that's good to look at. Nice female. Female that comes next is broody and cowy in her type and kind, and I absolutely love that about this female. She's so capacious, so good-bodied, but for me, she just wants to hock in just a little bit and pushing that grease just a little too much for me. I'd like to lean her up in terms of her condition at this stage in the game, but boy, she's going to be a fun one to breed on. Heifer that comes next is one that gets just a little steep and straight in her shoulder and out of her knee, gives up just a little power. The young man's blue roan heifer that rounds out the class, got some ribbon, volume, some stoutness, just runs out of show ring pizzazz for me today.
Back over in our purebred Gelbvieh show, this will be another automatic class and champion and reserve division out here. A little bit of give and take between these two heifers. Heifer that wins the class, the one that for me, just a little softer at the ground, the way you see her handle those hind two, off those hind two pasterns, just a little more flex and cushion in this one. Female that still gives you a great look out here from the side, long and level from hooks to pins. She's an easy keeping kind of a rig as well, really deep through the center portion of that body. Female that also gives you a nice look up through that front 1/3 as well. Heifer that we have in second out here, one that might be just a notch fresher in her overall conditioning, like the length of side that we see in her. She too really good in terms of her levelness of hip, that levelness from hooks to pins. Heifer that gives up some rib shape, some forerib and some flank to the female that wins the class. And then, as I commented on as well, maybe not quite as comfortable out here on the move as the female that is our division champion as well. Two very nice females out here in this division. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
And placings in Class 5 over in your Gelbvieh show are as followed. First place goes entry number 9, Emory 2757K, exhibited by J.C. Diane Carroll of Raymore, Missouri. And second place in that class goes entry number 10, Jules 259K, exhibited by Cameron Nowak of Bland, Missouri. Those will also be automatic champion and reserve champion senior heifer calves. Now in the ring is Class 7. This female was born 8/30/2022.
On the Gelbviehs, another single entry August female that very fresh in the way she comes to us out here. Female that too, you got to like the added femininity that we see in this one. Very angular up through that front 1/3. Neck comes up high out of the top of her shoulders. Like the length of side that we see in her. One that young lady does a great job with out here. One that could sure stand some more competition. Congratulations.
And first place in Class 7 over in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 11, Miss Rebel 222K, exhibited by Braden Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 8 of your Gelbvieh show. This heifer was born on May 2nd of 2022.
Boy, a really nice lineup of females out here. This one that wins, though, for me, she does it relatively easy for me, and this is a good class. Second and third are high quality animals, and so are the last two that rounded out. This heifer that wins for me, though, boy, she's just to be that bold sprung and robust up high and still carries that advantage down low and balances so nicely from her chest floor back to her udder. Stout made, she's sound, she's functional, just a very good foot underneath this female, very high quality, nice class winner. The heifer that comes here in second is one that I like a lot. I mean, there's a lot of times where, boy, you bring this one and you think he's going to win the show, and then you run into the one that's ahead of you, but there's nothing wrong with this female here. She's very good. She's so extended through that front 1/3. She's got a good foot underneath her, nice toe spread, very elegant made through that front 1/3. Maybe just gets a little narrower in her chest cavity and might like to smooth her up there from her hooks to her pins and her tail head compared to our class winner, but boy, that's sure an awfully good female. Female that comes next is one that's got a lot of rib and volume to her, maybe just gives up the bone and overall circumference of foot and dimension to our two that are ahead of her, but very nice breeding piece, very nice female to take down the road. Young lady's heifer comes next, going to have a gorgeous udder when she gets in production. I like that. She's very elegant. She's very sound and functional. She just runs out of show ring pizzazz and gets a little weak there in her hook-loin junction. But boy, nice heifer, be fun to breed on. Congratulations to you. Heifer that rounds out the class, good kind of cattle, just gets a little stiff off her hind two for me today.
Back over on the Gelbviehs, another single entry out here, and one that sure make you set up and pay attention when she comes into the ring. Female that could sure stand some more competition out here. One that has a great big foot under. Love the substance of bone that we see in this female, the depth of rib, the flank that you see in her as well. Really rugged in her kind, but yet ties that all into a nice eye-appealing look out here. We'll look forward to having her back here in just a few moments. Congratulations.
And first place in Class 8 in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 12, a Kinsley 265K, exhibited by Alexander Rabb of Markle, Indiana. Congratulations. Now in the ring will be the selection of your Division 4 Champion Intermediate Heifer Calf. And placings in Class 34 over in your Maintainer show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 79, GSC Miss Delilah, exhibited by Sky Wimmer of Portland, Indiana. Second place in that class goes to entry number 81, BPKSCB, Hudak class, exhibited by Cora Cobbins of Thurmont, Maryland. And third place in that class goes to entry number 84, BDCC, AGRF Kylie, 142K, exhibited by Emily Kramer of Vanderbilt, Pennsylvania. Fourth place goes to entry number 82, ALCC Styling and Profiling, exhibited by Mallory Duncan of McGee, Mississippi. And fifth place goes to entry number 76, BOWC Anna 204K, exhibited by Emily Caffey of Upton, Kentucky. And please note entry number 73, 74, and 80 were scratches.
Back over in our Gelbvieh, purebred Gelbvieh show. This will be our summer division out here. As you can see, we've got two different kinds out here. Female that wins the first class that I talked about earlier, the one to my right there. Female very fresh in her conditioning, one that very elegant in her appearance when you get her stopped out here in terms of the added femininity that she possesses. You know, you get to looking at the female directly behind her to my left. Not quite the power, the substance of bone that you see in that heifer. Maybe not quite the rib shape right here, but one that you could certainly plead a case for if that's what you're after. Then we have the female to my left that I just talked about that wins the last class, like the foot size, the substance of bone. Female that's got a great big square hip in her as well. one that's really good in terms of her underline and the way she just flows together from her forerib back there through her flank. Female, you could imagine just kicking out on grass, and she's going to be one that easily maintains herself, be one that that young lady will like showing to her friends, I think, as a cow out in the pasture. That being said, the heifer that wins the second class to my left, she's going to be our division champion. Come back with the heifer that wins the first class. She'll be our reserve. Congratulations to both these exhibitors.
Really nice class of females here on our tainer side. Boy, you got one that sure got a nice presence to her about her front 1/3, very fresh in terms of her condition, very sound and very functional, good bone, good footed, really nice balance from her chest floor to her underline, just a good complete kind of a female. Really like how they got that nice gorgeous udder carved out. Going to be very, very beautiful when she gets into production. The heifer that comes here next is one that you like, a lot of rib shape and volume that she has. But for me, I'd like to just stretch her out from end to end compared to our class winner and maybe just make her just a little softer in her hock as she gets out and goes. But hey, that's a good looking, good bodied, stout made female, very high quality. Heifer that comes here next is one that you like a lot of things about, very capacious, very stout and thick ended. She's big boned and big footed. Maybe gets a little coarser and rougher in that rear hock joint. Maybe wants to get just a little steeper and straighter into that knee. But boy, you like a lot of good things about that female. Female that rounds out the class, very elegant through her front 1/3, just gives up the true bone and power from the ground up to get any higher today, but high quality female.
Back over on our Gelbvieh show again, got a single entry red April female comes to us, one that excellent set of feet and legs and running gear underneath this one as you watch her get out and go around the ring. One that, again, really deep through the center portion of her body, appears to be an easy keeping kind of a female out here. Heifer, you're going to change her just a little bit, maybe like to just lengthen her out up through that front 1/3, maybe tone her back just a notch in that chest floor area, but a female that certainly brings a world of good to the table out here, one that this gentleman does a great job getting exhibited out here as well. Congratulations.
And over in your Gelbvieh show, your Division 4 champion intermediate heifer goes to entry number 12, Kinsley 265K, exhibited by Alexandra Rabb of Markle, Indiana. And your reserve champion goes to entry number 11, Miss Rebel 222K, exhibited by Braden Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. Congratulations. And first place in Class 10 in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 13, Butler's Miss Christian 512K, exhibited by Ty Harrison of Holly Pond, Alabama. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 11.
Well, maintainer enthusiast, if this doesn't get your blood pumping, I don't know what will. What an awesome lineup of big bred females standing out here. Man, our first and seconds are just phenomenal, but these first four standing in front of me are, boy, they're good cattle, they're good livestock. You know, they got some bone and foot underneath them. They got some body shape. They got some look. And the most importantly thing, they have some power and some good running gear underneath them, and I think that's key. Boy, this is a tremendous lineup of females, and boy, this isn't an easy task because all four of these are nice. I'd like to take all four of them home, to be honest with you, and breed on them because I think they'd be a lot of fun, and you can mate them a lot of different ways and do a lot of different things. But I think there's two of them out here. They're two totally different type and kinds, but I think they're both very elite, very high quality females, and I mean, I think they're just awesome, and I'd love to have both of them. If you guys ever want to sell flush, call me. But with that being said, you folks ringside, you select your two that you like in this division, and I'll show you my two. Again, let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. What a lineup of females, folks.
And your Division 5 champion maintainer heifer goes to entry number 100, KABG Kismet 265K, exhibited by Grayson Belcher of Blanksburg, Iowa. Congratulations.
Back in our Gelbvieh show, another powerful single entry February female out here that could sure stand some more competition as well. One of the good females that we've had so far within this show. Heifer that's sure acceptable in terms of soundness when you ask her to get out and go. One that's very functional in her kind, you know, what you see is what you get with this one, like the rib shape and the dimension that we see in her, and still kind of combines this into some eye-appealing traits when you stop and look at this one from the side as well. Again, nice single entry. Congratulations. We'll look forward to having her back in the division here in just a moment.
And catching you up over on your maintainer female show, placings in Class 35 are as followed. First place goes to entry number 86, LDSC Stella 152K, exhibited by McClay Glinson of Hempin, Illinois. And second place goes entry number 85, Kemp Miss Kylie 2226, exhibited by Pace Miller of Shreve, Ohio. Third place goes to entry number 94, REIB Miss 425, exhibited by Kylie Kohler of Lancaster, Ohio. And fourth place in that class goes entry number 92, FEN Stella 26K, exhibited by Nomi Finning of Coldwater, Ohio. And fifth place goes entry number 95, Bacardi, exhibited by Cora Shoulder of Halmer, Ohio. And please note entry number 91, 88, and 87 are scratches. And please correct, your Division 5 champion was entry number 86, and your reserve was 100. Congratulations.
Well, we got a nice single entry here. A heifer that sure could have stood a lot more competition, but one that's sound and functional. She's got a nice look to her. Very capacious, bold sprung, stout, thick-made kind of female. Very nice single entry. Congratulations.
Over in the Gelbvieh show out here in contention for this division, we've got April and a February, the red female in front of me. We talked about earlier, another one that really good at the ground when you ask her to get out and go, very clean jointed. Female that's actually really pretty deep through the center portion of her body as well. Heifer that gives you a nice look from the side, as I mentioned in class. Maybe like to give her a little more length and extension up through that front end. Maybe lengthen her out from hooks to pins, level up that hip just a notch, but that's getting awful picky on a nice female. Then we get back here to the February right behind her that I just talked about. One that, as I said, what you see is what you get with this female. Really deep-sided, really soft, very maternal in her overall makeup. One that's sure adequate in terms of her soundness, has some eye appeal out here. Breeder said that she's kind of on target to calve right in February as well. Got to really appreciate that about that one. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and use the black female to my left. She's going to win the division. We're going to follow up with the red female to my right. She'll be our reserve. Congratulations.
And first place in Class 11 over in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 15, Blackbird B 500K, exhibited by Kyra Moore of Fountain Run, Kentucky. And entry number 15 will be Automatic Champion Junior Heifer Calf. And your reserve division goes to entry number 13, Butler's Miss Kirsten 512K, exhibited by Ty Harrison of Holly Pond, Alabama. Now entering the ring is Class 13 Senior Heifers in your Gelbvieh show. And over in your maintainers show, placings in Class 36 are as followed. First place goes entry number 100, KABG Kismet 265K, exhibited by Grayson Belcher of Blakesburg, Iowa. Second place goes entry number 98, KABG Maisie 275K, exhibited by Grayson Belcher of Blakesburg, Iowa. Third place goes entry number 97, Joan Lady Cake 127K, exhibited by Abby Reese of Hamilton, Ohio. And fourth place goes entry number 99, HPLC Lois, exhibited by Haley Dean of Martinsville, Ohio. And first place in Automatic Division 6 Senior Yearling Heifer Calf Champion goes entry number 102, FEN Harley ET, exhibited by Willow Springs Cattle Company, Owen Finning of Coldwater, Ohio. We're now ready to select your grand champion maintainer heifer, and before we do that, I would like to reintroduce our judge today, Mr. Matt Copeland of Amstead, New Mexico. If you could, please join me in giving Matt a big round of applause for coming out and evaluating your show.
Over on the Gelbvieh side, we've got a nice single entry out here, a December female, one that you'd sure have to agree with me could stand some more competition. Again, a female that's very functional in her kind, very sound when you ask her to get out and go. Female that being in December, she's going to calve in December, making a nice udder out here. Really like the teat placement that we see in this one. Heifer that would be one I think that could be pretty hard to manage. Breeder's done a great job with that out here, one that is really expressive and bold in terms of her rib shape and dimension, and yet still fairly fresh out here. That being said, you know, you might want to clean up that chest floor area just a notch, but here's one that, again, very functional and gives you a nice look out here. Very nice female. Congratulations. We'll look forward to having her back in the division.
Well, back here on our maintainer side, first and foremost, you guys that are still standing ringside, give all the exhibitors today that exhibited a main influence female a big round of applause. What an outstanding show it's been for me to evaluate. Secondly, I'd like to thank the American Main Anjou Association for asking me and having me out here to judge at the North American on the green chips on the 50th anniversary. That's pretty special. It's special to get to ask to judge it at any point in time in a guy's career, but this one's really special, especially when you get to judge a breed that we're hot and heavy into and that we love, and we sell a lot of bulls out of this breed, and, you know, my heart's in this breed. We're Hereford all the way, but we're Maine right behind it all the way. And I think this breed does a lot in terms of marketability, sellability, and then also they have a lot of big features in the real world. You know, these are good cattle. They're sound, they're functional, they're good-bodied, they're stout, they're good-looking, and they have nice udders underneath them, and I want to commend all of you breeders for making them that way. We've made a lot of strides in the last 8-10 years, and it's because of all you guys outside ringside making these cattle better, making them sounder, better-bodied, better uddered, and so thank you guys as a breeder to another breeder for making these things so nice. It's very humbling to see all this. Foremost, I would like to thank my wife and my dad staying at home to let me do this. We don't have anybody that helps us at all. Nobody in the show barn, nobody at the ranch. We run 600 plus cows, and it's pretty tough for anybody to leave to do anything. And so when I get the opportunity to do this, it's because of them staying home, taking care of everything that needs to go, and go to the day-to-day operations just to make our outfit run. So thank you guys very much for giving me this opportunity. Sorry about that. You can tell I'm a family-oriented man. And all you kids out here that have the opportunity, and you men and women that have the opportunity to stand out here, be thankful. And the ones that are in the back, hey, I'm just as proud of you for not standing out here, because you brought what you thought was your very best, and you came from one man's humble opinion, and that's what it was, one man's humble opinion. And the next day, there's another show, you'll get another opinion. I just hope you could follow the type and kind that I like. And for me, a cow has to raise a bull, a show heifer, a show steer. They got to pound out and go on the truck and make it as feeder cattle. And all these females out here, I think, can do that. Again, it's been my honor and my privilege. You folks ringside, select your two champions. I'll show you mine. Again, thank you very much. My hat's off to all you exhibitors.
Yep. Over in our Gelbvieh show, this is what it's all about for me with this breed out here. Excellent cow-calf pair, a September female that calved in September, doing what she's supposed to do in terms of production. You know, you start off with that bull calf she's nursing, and I mean, he's green. There's still maybe a little bit of guesswork there, but in terms of style and balance and eye appeal, really have to appreciate what you see in that calf, the length up through that front 1/3, the length of side already, really smooth in all his lines. And then you move back here to mom, and just a world of good in this cow that's sound when you ask her to get out and go, one that's very clean jointed as well. Really like the base width you see in her as you get around behind her. She's level hipped as you view her from the side. Extremely big bodied, even for nursing a calf out here. You can tell really easy keeping kind of a rig. A female that too is still maintains some attractiveness up through that front 1/3. Just a nice single entry cow-calf pair. I'd like to commend these exhibitors for bringing her out here today. Congratulations.
And your grand champion maintainer heifer at your 50th annual North American International Livestock Show goes to entry number 86, LDSC Stella 152K, exhibited by Michaela Ginson of Hempin, Illinois. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion maintainer heifer goes to entry number 100, KABG Kismet 165K, exhibited by Grayson Belcher of Blakesburg, Iowa. Congratulations to those exhibitors. And we also are excited to see your premier exhibitor go to Hadley Dunklau of Nebraska. Congratulations. And your premier breeder for today is Grayson Belcher. Congratulations. And congratulations all main exhibitors for a successful show here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. We hope to see you back next year.
Back over in our purebred Gelbvieh show, we've got two very nice senior yearling females out here. The red female to my right that we just talked about, you know, one that kind of has all the parts and pieces, very functional, one that gives you a nice view out here from the side, you know. Maybe could make her a rib or two longer, maybe clean her up through that chest floor just a notch, but gotta like the functionality that you see in this one. And as I talked about her in class, female that you can tell is going to be very nice uddered, one that she gets into production. She's going to make this breeder, I think, a fabulous cow on down the road. Then we get back here to the pair that I just talked about. You know, love the style and the balance and the eye appeal, I said, in that bull calf she's nursing out in front of her right now. Then you get back here to mom, and you just got to like what you see with that cow in terms of the boldness, the broodiness, the power that you see in her, the base width, female that's nice uddered as well. And like I said, still fun to look at out here. That being said, it's just hard for me to beat a pair. I'm going to go ahead and use the pair for the division. Come back with our red December. She's going to be our reserve. Congratulations to our breeders within this division.
And catching up over in your Gelbvieh show, first place in class 13 goes to entry number 16 at 1224J, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. And first place in class 14 goes to entry number 17, Cowtown Julia 150J, exhibited by Cameron Nowback of Bland, Missouri. Congratulations. And your Division 6 champion goes to entry number 17, Cowtown Julia 150J, exhibited by Cameron Nowback of Bland, Missouri. And your reserve division will go to entry number 16, 1224J, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready to select your grand champion, Gelbvieh female, here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. Again, now entering the ring will be the selection of your grand champion, Gelbvieh female. And we will be starting your limousine show here in Broadbent Arena at approximately 6 o'clock. Again, we will be starting your limousine show here in Broadbent at 6 o'clock p.m.
As we get down to the end of our purebred Gelbvieh female show out here, please join me in giving these exhibitors a big round of applause for bringing us such a fine set of cattle out here this evening. Again, as I said earlier, this is a breed that we used to have some involvement with ourselves within our family. And if you haven't been around Gelbvieh cattle, they sure bring a lot to the table. And you can see some of that as you look through this lineup out here. They're cattle that have some substance of bone, some that have some muscle shape and some dimension to them as well. They're high-performing cattle, cattle that'll tip the scales a lot of times in terms of early weaning and growth. And they're cattle that are very maternal cattle that milk good. And probably what we noticed when we were within the breed was the fertility that Gelbvieh cattle brought to the table as well. But like to commend the exhibitors for bringing us such a fine set of cattle out here today. I think there's several ways you could go within this lineup. For me, there's 3 contenders out here. I'll tell you a little bit about those 3 and then make up my mind. The calf that comes out of the first division, I think just a world of future in this one. Love the soundness that we see in her when we ask her to get out and go. Very clean jointed. I think she's one that's kind of built for the long haul out here. Love the length of side that we see in her. She's got some added femininity about her as well. Yet when you get around behind her, there's just some explosiveness and some power in this one. One that is sure the youngest out here, but one that brings a lot to the table, I think, when you compare her to some of her contemporaries. And we get back here to the heifer that wins the 3rd division out here directly in front of me. She's another female that's very eye-appealing to me out here in this lineup. Like the length of side again that we see in her. I think she's adequate in terms of her soundness when you ask her to get out and go. Like her foot size and shape when you get up on her. The substance of bone that you see in her as well. Really cool hip, long and level from hooks to pins. That's very attractive to me when you view her from the side. Female that is really big through the center portion of her body, yet maintained very fresh out here. She too is another contender. Then we get back here to the pair that wins the last division I just talked about. You know, there's still a little guesswork in this red baby out here. It's a bull calf that maybe you want to see just kind of progress and see how he comes along. But then you get back here to mom, and I think there's just a world of good in her. Again, one that's super good footed out here. You can tell she's got some heel to her as well. Another female that very powerful, very wide-based, one that's level-hipped, you know, for being as wide-based as she is. She's still long and level from hooks to pins. Doesn't round off like you sometimes want to see females do. She's another one that also just very rugged, very bold in her overall appearance. Again, congratulations to the exhibitors. I'm going to go out and take one more look, then I'll show you the 2 that I like. Congratulations.
And your grand champion, Gelbvieh female, here at the 50th anniversary of the North American goes to entry number 17, Cowtown Julia 150J, exhibited by Cameron, now back of Bland, Missouri. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion, Gelbvieh, goes to entry number 2, T-Bar S Jada 168L, exhibited by Memphis Peterson of Puwalk, South Dakota. Congratulations. We'll now be ready to start your Gelbvieh Bull Show with Class 17 Spring Bull Calves. Again, we are ready for Class 17 Gelbvieh Bulls to be making their way into the ring. And we're ready for that Class 17 Gelbvieh Bulls to be making their way into the ring. Class 17 Gelbvieh Bulls. These Bulls' date of birth range from April 1st through March 16th of 2023. And again, we will be starting the limousine show here at 6 o'clock in Broadbent Arena. And don't forget our first open Supreme Cattle Drive here at the North American on Thursday, November 6th. 30 minutes after the last show, we will be having a open Supreme Cattle Drive in Freedom Hall. That will again begin 30 minutes after the last show is done. We hope to see all of you there.
Out here in our, this will be the start of our purebred Gelbvieh show. Two high quality individuals out here. Black Bull that wins the class, automatic division winner out here. Here's one that sure brings a lot to the table for me. One that just has a world of good in him. You got to start with the flexibility, the longevity you see in this guy in terms of his structure and the way he gets out and goes around the ring. Bull that takes a nice long stride, fills his track with ease. Love the length aside, the early performance that we see in this guy out here. Bull that gives you a heck of a look from the side view profile. Very straight and smooth in all his lines. One that is very nice in the way he blends in through that front 1/3 as well. Not to take anything away from the Red Bull. Bull that brings a lot to the table in terms of muscularity out here. Really like that about this one, like the substance of bone that we see in this one. The foot that's underneath him as well. Ask him to get out and go. Maybe not quite as comfortable as the Black Bull that's out here in front of him. Maybe wants to get a notch shorter coupled out here on the move. Maybe want to just lengthen him out from hooks to pins ever so slightly out of that hip as you view him from the side as well. But tremendous pair of bulls out here for champion and reserve in this spring bull division. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
And first place in Class 17 over in your Gelbvieh Bull Show goes to entry number 20, Butler's Mr. 13L, exhibited by Butler Creek Farms of Milton, Tennessee. Entry 20 will also be your automatic champion spring bull calf. And in second place and reserve division goes to entry number 19, 3102L, exhibited by Nowak Cattle Company, Owensville, Missouri. Congratulations. Entry number 8 was a scratch. Now in the ring is Class 19 Senior Bull Calves. This bull's date of birth is December 30th of 2022. And over in your limousine side, we are ready for that Class 1 limousine females. Again, we are ready for Class 1 limousine females.
Back out in our purebred Gelbvieh Bull Show, December out here, one that could sure stand some more competition. High quality individual, brings a lot to the table in terms of pounds and performance, as you can see. Really good in terms of early testicular development. Bull that's very rugged in his kind. Sound out here on the move as well. For me, maybe like to just clean him up through that sheath just a notch. Maybe just clean him up a little bit in that chest floor area as well. High quality individual, automatic division winner. Congratulations to that exhibitor. Another single entry red Gelbvieh bull out here in May that I think certainly brings some good to the table. One that could stand some more competition out here in this lineup. Bull that tremendous in terms of his overall muscularity. You can see that in his rear 1/3 there. Bull you got to appreciate for the substance of bone. One that when you get up on him and examine his feet, really good feet underneath this guy as well. Toes are all going the right direction, no curling there. Good in terms of testicular development, clean sheet, and I think gives you a nice look out here from the side view profile. We'll look forward to having him back in the champion lineup here in just a moment. Congratulations.
Over here on the limousine side, I think a tremendous way to start off our day with a really high-quality heifer calf that wins this class rather handily, in my opinion. One from her shoulder back, I think she's right. In terms of her body shape, she's long and level out through her hip and plants down really soft and square in terms of her hock joint and her rear foot and pastern. Maybe in an ideal world, we just relax that one and the set to her knee just ever so slightly. But man, you want to talk about one that just paints a really nice silhouette that's fresh and youthful in terms of her condition. I think the young lady brings us out a really nice, high-quality class winner. The one that comes out here in second, moderate, big-bodied, I think functional in terms of her build and structure. Cattle that in relation to an impressive class winner, we'd like to see her pull herself together with just a shot more look and balance, like to knock that tail head down in between her pins, just a shot more smoother, but nice, moderate, functional kind of cattle to be second. One coming out in third, we really like the figures, the EPD profile that she presents to us, and that's a big-muscled, wide-backed, big-ended kind of cattle that just needs to come with better look, lines, and balance in relation to her contemporaries.
Back over on our purebred Gelbvieh show out here, bull show. It's another single entry, another bull that certainly brings a lot to the table. You just start analyzing this guy from the ground up, get up on him and look at the foot underneath this one. I think of that term, has a foot like a Clydesdale. Great big foot underneath this guy. Love the flexibility that you see in him as you ask him to get out and go. Excellent in terms of just that softness and cushion to his pasterns as he goes. He's a big bone, rugged kind of a bull, one that you can just imagine would transmit pounds to a calf crop, and in today's day and age, that equals profit out here. So high quality individual, one that was a lot of fun to look at. We'll look forward to having him back in our champion drive in just a moment. Congratulations.
And catching up over in your Gelbvieh show, first place in Class 19 and automatic division champion goes to entry number 21, Against the Wind, exhibited by Paris Cattle Farms of Canton, North Carolina. And first place in Class 21 and also automatic division 9 champion goes to entry number 22, Mr. Money Maker, exhibited by Abigail Swobe of Wadidot, Oklahoma. And first place in Class 23 and automatic division 10 winner goes to entry number 23, Samaro 213K65, exhibited by Green Hills Gelbvieh, Mount Ola, North Carolina. Congratulations. Now in the ring is the selection of your grand champion Gelbvieh bull here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. Again, we will be selecting your grand champion Gelbvieh bull. And placings over in your limousine female show are as followed. First place goes entry number 5. EWSC Cardi B 102L, exhibited by Macy Beckham of Jerseyville, Illinois. And second place in Class 1 goes entry number 3, PFL Lucy Goosey, exhibited by Sadie Lee Portwood of Versailles, Kentucky. And third place goes entry number 8, Janet E.T., exhibited by Leadin Limousine of Janesville, Wisconsin. Please note entry number 4 was a scratch. And now in the ring in your limousine show is Class 2 limousine heifers. These heifers' date of birth range from April 26th through April 1st of 2023.
Over in the Gelbvieh ring, this will be our champion purebred bull lineup out here. Tremendous set of bulls that have been out here in front of us this evening. Set of bulls that when you get to comparing them to the females that we just judged, I think really equal in terms of quality, pretty impressive throughout this lineup. And that starts with this calf that comes out of the first division, one that gives you a nice silhouette and outline out here from my angle. Super long-sided, like I said earlier, very level hip, like the muscle shape and expression you see in this guy, the base width when you get around behind him. He's clean sheath. He's excellent in terms of testicular development. And for me, and you've heard me talk this through the females and now into the bulls, one that's built for the long haul terms of structure. He's a March bull calf, and as you can see, there's some serious pounds coming through in this guy. Love the early performance that we see in him. He's a contender, I think, out here in this lineup. Then we get back to the bull out of the second division. I'll talk about him just briefly. Very rugged in his kind, very useful in his kind. Bull, when you compare him to the two on either side, maybe just like to clean him up through that sheath area a little bit, maybe tidy him up through that front 1/3 to get him up contending with those bulls. The red bull out of the third slot out here, another one very useful in his kind. I commented on the feet that are underneath this guy. Great big foot, tremendous amount of heel back there as well. Bull that's adequate in terms of his structure when you ask him to get out and go. He too's clean sheath, very good in terms of testicular development, like the ruggedness and the muscle that we see in him. Bull that, as you analyze him up through that front 1/3, maybe like to just pull that neck up out of his shoulder just a notch higher, to show him off just a little bit better. But another one that's sure worthy to talk about out here within this lineup. Then we have the bull that was just out here in front of us by himself a minute ago, I believe, in January, and I talked about him. Love the feet and legs that we see underneath this guy. For a big guy, super athletic when you ask him to get out and go. Love the structure underneath this bull. Bull that, too, he's got some performance. He's got some doability to him, but he's one that still in a relatively fresh package. It's nice to look at out here. It's a bull that you can see him out of his hip there, really long and level from hooks to pins, like the length of side that we see in him. He's another one that, for me, runs a hard race out here within this lineup. That being said, I'd like to congratulate our exhibitors within this purebred show, and I'll go out and show you the two that I like the best out here this evening. Congratulations on a nice lineup of bulls.
And your grand champion, Gelbvieh Bull, goes to entry number 23. Camaro 213K65, exhibited by Green Hills Gelbvieh of Mount Ola, North Carolina.
Over here on the limousine side, I think a really good balanced trait kind of animal to go ahead and lead the class off. One that's tremendous in terms of her look, her lines, and her balance. She just fits together so symmetrical with a great deal of presence. I think that one's running gear is really good. She's right in terms of her body shape and just ultra youthful and elegant looking out here among her contemporaries. Really nice, solid place to start here. The battle in the class for me came between 2 and 3, and it just came down to structure and build. The heifer in second is quite a bit more comfortable out of her hock joint, quite a bit more relaxed in terms of her front end structure, and as a result, she just gets out and goes with quite a bit more athleticism. That's a big-bodied, big outline cattle, and her EPDs certainly reflect it. One that, in relation to an impressive class winner, we'd just like to power up in terms of her forerib, set her down in terms of her tail head, and just see her spine and top line come together with just a shot more strength on the profile. If it's all about being big, stout, and burly, this heifer in third it certainly presents a tremendous amount of value. Really bold and opened up high, tremendous amount of strength out there through her pin set. It's when that one gets out and goes on the move that I'd like to change her in terms of her skeleton and her running gear. She needs relaxed in terms of the angle to her shoulder. I'd like to see her handle her hock joint with quite a bit more athleticism. Female to round out the class that can give you a really cool look from the side. Extra elegant, extra smooth in terms of how she's put together. And that one's got some genuine shape when you study her down the top side of her skeleton in relation to those cattle just ahead of her. I'd like to give her just a shot more performance and just strength and levelness out through her hip and pin set.
And your reserve grand champion Gelbvieh bull goes to entry at number 20. Butler's Mr. 13L, exhibited by Butler Creek Farms of Milton, Tennessee. Congratulations. We will take a short picture break over on your Gelbvieh side, and then we'll be moving on to your balancer females here at the North American.
Just a single entry over here on our limousine side, but one that's certainly deserving of winning our class here on the green chips. Really nice outline, good structured kind of cattle with some added length of spine. In an ideal world, we'd like to just stouten her up in terms of her feature, see her come with just a shot more look up through her front 1/3, but I think a really nice kind of cattle to come out here and represent this class in our division drive.
And placings over in your limousine female show for Class 2 are as followed. First place goes entry number 12, REIB Miss Queen at 369, exhibited by Parker Chestnut of Bath, Indiana. And second place in that class goes entry number 10, SKSW Miss Laney 2323, exhibited by Slate Wind Farm of Mercerburg, Pennsylvania. And third place goes entry number 15, RCC Lullaby 301L, exhibited by Jackson Kidd of Sandy Hook, Kentucky. Fourth place goes entry number 14, Wilson's Lemon Lime 193, exhibited by Samantha Pico of Ewing, Kentucky. Please note, entry number 11 was a scratch. And first place in Class 3 goes to entry number 17, West SRAJ Laura 343L, exhibited by Sarah Ann Johnson of Zanesville, Ohio. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering your ring will be the selection of your Division I limousine female. We will be selecting Division I limousine female.
What a tremendous division to start our limousine show off with this evening, and it certainly came in strong with the first heifer calf, one we talked about in class from her shoulder back being right in terms of her body shape. Really like how long and level that one is out through her hip. I think she's soft and square in terms of how she plants down her hock joint, her pastern, and her rear foot. In class, we talked in a perfect world, we'd like to just relax that one in terms of her shoulder blade and set her back in terms of her knee, but certainly one we need to talk about, and that's worth noting within this lineup. The one out of Class 2 hit me really hard within her class. One that in terms of balance, in terms of look and presence is certainly an outlier. We talked about that one in class just being so elegant in terms of how she's sculpted up front. From there back, she's right. In terms of her body shape, I think she's plenty athletic and functional in terms of her basic build and structure. A really solid, balanced, good-looking kind of female to represent that class. Young ladies out of the third class might not quite come with that extreme look and balance of the two right ahead of her, but we need to talk about her because she's a really functionally good kind of female that's great in terms of her build and structure. She offers some added length of body in relation to the two just ahead of her. I think a really good, solid kind of cattle to come out and represent that class. That being said, the young mans out of the second class will be our division champion. The young ladies out of first will be reserve.
And your Division I limousine female goes to entry number 12, REIB Miss Queen at 3-6. 9, exhibited by Parker Chestnut of Bath, Indiana. And your reserve division champion goes to entry number 5, EWSC Cardi B, exhibited by Macy Beckham of Jerseyville, Illinois. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 4 of your limousine female show. These heifers' date of birth range from February 18th through February 5th of 2023. I would like to take this time to introduce your judge here for your limousine show, Mr. Brett Damon of Pennsylvania. Breck attended college at Blackhawk East and Western Illinois University, where he was a judging team member at both institutions. In the spring of 2018, Breck made the move to South Georgia to manage Insfall Farm, a 200-cow Hereford ranch that heavily emphasizes cow function and eye appeal while working on to capture carcass premiums. If you could, join me in giving Mr. Breck Durham a big round of applause for being here with us today. Don't forget, this year we are having our first open Supreme Cattle Drive on Thursday, November 16th in Freedom Hall. All grand champions of the open shows are welcome to come. That show starts 30 minutes after the last show on Thursday. Again, we will be having an open Supreme Cattle Drive on Thursday in Freedom Hall. We do invite everyone to come. Also, we would like to thank our official photographer of this year's 50th anniversary of the North American, Lindy's Livestock Photography. If you want to look at pictures of this week, all you have to do is go to lindsay'slivestockphotos.com to find all photos of here in Broadbent and Freedom Hall. Again, we do appreciate our official photographer of this week's show, Lindy's Livestock Photography.
What a tremendous initial trio to start this class off, and cattle that have tremendous strengths to each in their own. And in my opinion, this one that's going to win the class, her silhouette is just so hard to beat. That one's natural head carriage and neck extension is unmatched and unparalleled out here. She still has the body and performance to back it up. She's fresh, she's youthful, one that's tremendous in terms of her running gear. Her softness of her angles just so right, and everything just fits in proportions so nicely and so perfectly with that animal. The one in second probably comes with a shot more horsepower. I think she's more opened up in terms of her forerib, presents some more strength there out through her pin set. And I like that one's moderation and body shape. I think a tremendously good kind of female that's good in terms of her hip and her hind leg. She just comes off a shot coarser in terms of her outline and initial presence in relation to that one that wins the class. The heifer in third, young lady, keep your head up because this one could win a lot of classes. This one's really good, fundamentally solid kind of cattle that's moderate, big-bodied, great in terms of her basic structure and running gear. She's not quite as aggressive in terms of her shape as the heifer in second. She's not quite a lead in terms of her look and her outline as the heifer that wins the class. Young lady's female coming out next certainly sets a standard out here in terms of performance and depth of body. I think she's functional in terms of her build and her structure. With that added elevation, though, we need to open her up in terms of her body shape, see her come with just a shot more genuine strength and dimension. Red female that's coming out next, moderate, square in terms of her build. She's a good-footed kind of cattle. That's a shot coarser in terms of her lines in relation to the rest of those. The shorter-hipped, rounder-hipped female is just a shot shallower in terms of her body shape in relation to those cattle just ahead of her. Young man brings out a really nice, long-bodied, fundamentally good kind of cattle to round out the class. She just doesn't come with the elite kind of style, look, and balance as those cattle right ahead of her.
And placings in class number 4 over in your limousine show are as follows. First place goes to entry number 22, SSUL Charmin Forever 3237, exhibited by Reed Utterback of Elwood, Indiana. And second place in that class goes to entry number 19, TSSL Neil S.A. Kendall JET, exhibited by Hogan Henderson of Farmland, Indiana. Third place goes entry number 24, SSUL Charm 3330, exhibited by Gemma A. Dorsey of Morrow, Illinois. And fourth place goes entry number 20, PRFRNK Laney, exhibited by Samantha Pico of Ewing, Kentucky. And fifth place goes entry number 25, Legacy's Lily, exhibited by Jocelyn Rubert of Witt, Illinois. And sixth place goes entry number 57, WIWE Lucky Charmed 2305, exhibited by Ryan Allen of Quincy, Illinois. And please note, entry number 23 was a scratch. Now in the ring, over in your limousine show, is Class 5. These heifers' date of birth range from January 31st through January 2nd of 2023. We are ready for that Class 1 junior heifer calves over in your balancer show. We are ready for that Class 1. These heifers' date of birth range from February 3rd to January 12th of 2023. Again, that first class of Gelbviehs could be making their way into the ring.
Over in our Gelbvieh ring, this will be a nice way to start off our balancer female show out here. Single entry and automatic division winner February, one that could sure stand some more competition, as you can see out here. Female that's extremely big middled here as you view her from the side. Very broody, very rugged in her appearance. Love the substance of bone that we see under her as well. Heifer for this stage of the game, if you're going to get real nitpicky, maybe like to green her up just a notch, just a freckle in her overall conditioning out here. But a female, as I said, could sure stand some more competition, one that we'll sure like looking at later in the champion drive. Congratulations to this exhibitor.
And first place in Class 1 and automatic division champion goes to entry number 4, My MV Lovely 431L, exhibited by Haley Cornett of Hillsboro, Ohio. Congratulations. Please note entry number 5 was a scratch. Now entering the ring is Class 3 balancer females. These females' date of birth range from December 6th through November 21st of 2022.
The really, really good ones continue to roll through here in this next class over here on the limousine side. And boy, I think the one that's going to win this class is extremely, extremely good. Everything matches and everything in proportions, and I think that it's so difficult to do that when they have this much bulk and mass. That's a big-footed, stout-featured cattle that's extra bold and opened up in terms of her body shape. One whose lines and symmetry just lay into her with an elite amount of style and presence. I think that she's adequate in terms of everything, and as a result, just a really good balanced kind of animal to go ahead and win this class. Congratulations to that young lady on a really high-quality one. I really like this heifer in second, and I think one that could win a lot of classes just from being good, fault-free kind of cattle. Our lines laying her with some style, with some consistency on the go. I think she's good structured cattle. That's right in terms of her body shape, and just extremely youthful in terms of how she's put together. Just doesn't have quite the extremes in terms of bone work, in terms of mass and dimension of an impressive class winner. A young man brings us out one that I think has really good days in front of her in terms of making a heavy bred. That one outlines just beautifully in terms of how her front end sculpted, in terms of how relaxed she is in her shoulder blade and her lower body shape, and how she transitions from her forerib back to her flank. I think good cattle that's good structured just gets outpowered by those initial two. Similar story with the heifer in fourth. I think one that ideally comes with just a shot more rib, a shot more body, but that one in terms of her look, lines, and presence is extremely good. Bold-bodied, stout-hipped. Maybe like to see her get out and go out of her hip and hind leg with just a shot more coordination. If it's all about being big, stout, massive, and burly, I think this heifer that comes out next can go up a few ranks. That one's massive in terms of her feature, and out here on the stand, one that still pulls herself together with some look. I think she's extra bold and pulled apart in terms of her upper body shape, stout and square out through her hip. I just like to fix her from a skeletal standpoint. In an ideal world, we rock that one back in terms of her shoulder blade, set her back in her knee, and just relax her in terms of the angle to her hock joint. Another good, moderate kind of female coming out next that's got some rib and body. I think she's good in terms of her basic build and structure. She needs to come with a shot more look and balance in relation to the cattle just ahead of her. We'd like to just power her up when the cattle turn and leave you. A high-performing, long-bodied one comes out next. This one's good in terms of the slope and angle to her hind leg in relation to her contemporaries. She needs to come with more rib and body in relation to her added elevation. Moderate, really square-built one's going to round out the class, and this one's got some good to her in terms of just having some upper body shape, some substance and feature when you study her at her foundation in relation to the rest of those cattle. We need to soften her up in terms of her body shape, see her come just a shot more aggressive in terms of her performance out here today.
Back over in our Gelbvieh show, our balancer show out here, two really highly competitive fall females. We've got a November and a December. Elected to go with the female, a little more moderate out here, one that's kind of an outlier within this pair in terms of just style and balance and eye appeal. Female that's really, really neat neck, gives you an ultra feminine look out here from the side. Heifer that's sure acceptable in terms of overall soundness. Get around behind her. Still got some shape and some width to her as well. Would she give up a little performance to our second place female? That's maybe where you'd like to just power up just a notch, but elected to go with the one for me that just a little more eye appealing, I think, within the pair. We get back here to this December female, and if you're looking for one with just a little bit more power, a little more weight per day of age, and this is probably your female. Love the top line that we see in this female, extra level. Female that's level also from hooks to pins out of her hip there as well. She's green in her overall conditioning, yet maintains some body shape. I like that about her. You know, maybe not quite as cool up through that front end as the heifer that gets her today, but an awfully nice kind of female that runs a hard race out here as well. Congratulations to both these exhibitors.
And placings for Class 3 over in your balancer show are as followed. First place goes entry number 8, GCRK 298K, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. And second place in Class 3 goes to entry number 6, Velvet 864K, exhibited by Paris Cattle Farms of Canton, North Carolina. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 4 balancer females. These females' date of birth range from October 14th through September 1st of 2022. And placings in your limousine show in Class 5. First place goes to entry at number 33, MKLSSC Kitty at 366L, exhibited by Riley Green of Mayville, Michigan. And second place in that class goes entry number 28, CLAC London 183L, exhibited by Connor London of Sagamore, Pennsylvania. And third place in that class goes to entry number 32, TASF Lovely 726, exhibited by Thomas and Son Farms of Boonesboro, Maryland. Fourth place goes entry number 35, Lexi E.T., exhibited by Claire Dorsey of Witt, Illinois. Fifth place goes to entry number 29, West SRAJ Loretta 342L, exhibited by Sarah Ann Johnson of Zanesville, Ohio. Sixth place goes entry number 31, exhibited by Lamb Stewart of Mechanicsburg, Illinois. Seventh place goes entry number 37, exhibited by Claire Dorsey of Witt, Illinois. And eighth place goes entry number 27, exhibited by Jesse Cosbate of Henderson, Kentucky. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now we are selecting your Division II limousine champion.
Over here on our limousine side, I think two impressive class winners that certainly come out here and just embody the type and kind of cattle that we're out here searching for. We talked about that one out of the first class, just being so elite in terms of her silhouette, in terms of how her lines fit in her just so seamlessly, and being just youthful and attractive in terms of how she ties together up front. I think that one's fresh in terms of her body shape and great in terms of her running gear. That's a smooth jointed, really square built one that I think has a tremendous amount of future. If you were to get picky on her, I'd like to just open her up in terms of her forerib, see her come with a shot more genuine horsepower when you study the cattle coming right at you through her sternum. The cattle, the female out of the second class, just extremely burly, overwhelmingly massive in terms of her center body, really, really stout in terms of her feature. She's not quite as just seamless in terms of her spine as the one out of the first class, but I do think when you study the cattle in terms of genuine width of sternum and how bold and opened up they are in terms of her upper body shape, I do believe that she has the upper hand. She'll be our division champion out here today. The one out of the first class will be reserve.
And your Division II limousine champion goes to entry number 33, MKLS SC Kitty 366L, exhibited by Riley Green of Mayville, Michigan. And your reserve division goes to entry number 22. Goes to entry number 22, SSUL Carmen Forever 3237, exhibited by Reed Utterback of Elwood, Indiana. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 6. These heifers' date of birth range from December 20th through December 12th of 2022.
Out here in our balancer show, probably one of the more competitive classes we've had all day within the Gelbvieh show. Let's go ahead and bring this third heifer around. Let's see if these girls will line up real nice for us. Really close threesome up here, and I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to rearrange these a little bit depending upon where your priorities lie. The first place female just fit me the best, just type and kind, soundness, freshness. Just kind of check the most boxes out here for me. Love the length of side in this young man's female. As I said, when you compare to the one directly behind her, maybe a notch fresher in her overall conditioning. Is she as muscular as the second place female? Maybe not. Get her out on the move, and I think that's where she excels over the heifer that we have in second. Just a little bit truer off those hind two, notch more flex and cushion. This is a heifer, though, and as she enters the ring, one you kind of want to gravitate towards in terms of her overall ring presence, her outline, her presentation, and the way this young man gets her shown out here to us. Just a nice place to start for first for me. Then we've got kind of the combination heifer out here coming in second. As I said, I mean, you got to like the substance of bone that you see in this one. The power out of that rear 1/3. Very bold in through her fore-rib area. Carries that all the way back through that flank. Really nice. I think for me, though, you've heard me talk about it all through the show today, talk about structure. Like to see that one get out and go with just a little more authority off those hind two when we compare to the heifer that we have in first. This heifer in third is one that, another one you really want to gravitate towards. Love the presentation and the look you get with this female. Really elegant out here on the standstill. I like that about her. Pretty fresh in her overall conditioning. Long and level from hooks to pins. Love her hip as you view her here from the side. The length and extension up through that front end. Pretty good in terms of the way she gets out and walks. For me, the game changers when you get up on this heifer. Those hind 2 feet are wanting to curl in just a little bit. I think that's something that's going to have to be managed on her in terms of a cow on down the road. That's maybe where I'd like to change her. But as I said, those 3 females, if you're a breeder out here and you're looking at them, you pick them off your priorities. That's just the way I like them out here today. Then we get into this next pair of females that round out the class. I elected to go with the one that had just a notch more performance. Female that's got some rib shape and some dimension and some true width. Love the substance of bone underneath her. Like to see her get out and track a little truer. Gets outside the boundaries a little bit in terms of structure. For me, the heifer following her that rounds out the class, one that's pretty good in terms of her overall outline and kind out here, just gives up some substance of bone and some performance to the heifers that are above her in the class today. That's a nice class of fall females. Congratulations.
Over here on the limousine side, I think a fairly easy class winner to find. When we talk about putting these cattle in production, I just think that this one embodies the right type and kind of beef cattle. Moderate, dense, big-bodied with a really soft hind leg that's really functional in terms of her build and structure. A really good, solid place to start on this class. In an ideal world, we relax that one in terms of her knee and just see her a shot more elegant in terms of how she comes out of her front end, but I think really good type and kind to win this class of Decembers. The structure and build sorts 2 and 3 for me out here today. The young lady's heifer that's going to be second is quite a bit more appropriate. And the slope to her shoulder and knee, she's softer and more agile in terms of how she uses her hock joint. And as a result, she'll maintain better symmetry in her spine when she gets out on the move. The young man's heifer that's going to round out the class, she certainly has the upper hand in terms of performance, in terms of length of body. I just need to change that one from a skeletal standpoint. I'd like to rock her back in her shoulder blade, see her hit her step from behind with just a shot more comfort.
And placings in class number 6 in your limousine female show are as followed. First place goes to entry number 40, SJMR Princess Kate 250K, exhibited by Samantha Jo Moore of Staten, Virginia. Second place in that class goes to entry number 38, ELCX Cassie 17K, exhibited by Taylor Holloway of Fort White, Florida. And third place goes to entry number 39, SJMR Kennedy 251K, exhibited by Scott Hickey of Staten, Virginia. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is class 7 limousine females. These females' date of birth range from September 28th through November 3rd of 2022.
Back over on the balancer show, we've got a really nice fall division out here. As you can see, I believe is a November female that wins the first class within that division. You know, as I commented on, if you're out here looking for an animal, you know, that can add some style and some presence and some eye appeal, if you need something to clean one up a little bit, this might be the cow you want to take home, or the one you want to take home for a cow, I should say. Female that, too, I think is very acceptable in terms of her structure when you ask her to get out and go. Like the length of side, the freshness in her conditioning. Maybe not quite the pop and the performance of those 2 older heifers directly behind her, but I think just a world of good, lot to offer in that heifer. Then we get to the one that just wins the tough last class. Young man does an excellent job out here getting this one stuck. Love the presentation and the look that you see with this female. Get past that, though. Love her outline and her silhouette as you view her from the side. She's one that's very maternal, very broody in her overall makeup, yet maintains, to me, some femininity with that coupled brood cow look to her. That's really a nice fall female. And then we get back to that heifer that stood second to her that I talked about, a heifer out here on the standstill. Gotta love the power traits that one possesses. The width in her pins, the way she carries that down into her lower stifle so well. Talked about her underline there, her forerib all the way back to her flank. Really like that about that one that's pretty true right in behind those shoulders as well. As tough as that last class with, it's pretty hard for me not to stick with our class winner and our second. I'm going to go ahead and go with these two for champion and reserve. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
And your Division II Gelbvieh female is entry number 9. T-bar SMS 24 karat 1167K, exhibited by Avon Moon of Ensburg, Washington. And the reserve division goes into number 17, a T-bar SM Miss Ibani 5028, exhibited by Hadley Kutschad of Cuba, Missouri. Congratulations.
Back out here in our Gelbvieh Balancer show, a nice single entry automatic division winner. June female, one that comes to us fairly sound when you ask her to get out and go. Female, when you get up on her here, really good in terms of her feet and her foot shape. Female that too possesses some quality in terms of look from the side. One that's got a tremendous outline, like the femininity we see up through that front 1/3. One that's sure fresh in her overall conditioning as well. Female that has been managed beautifully. We'll look forward to having her back in the champion drive here in just a moment. Congratulations.
And first place in Class 6 and automatic intermediate heifer champion in your balancer show goes to entry number 19, MS Rebel Yell 214K, exhibited by Braden Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now in the ring in your balancer female show is Class 8. These heifers' date of birth range from April 21st through March 6th of 2022.
Over here on the limousine side, 3 cattle that rise to the top that offer quite a bit of differences and debate. I think the female that I'm going to land on, I do so because she's the most youthful in terms of her look. She's fresh in terms of her condition. When you study that one at the top side of her shoulder blade, she's just a shot more feminine in terms of how she brings her neck right out of her skeleton there. That's a moderate, huge-bodied one. That's a shot stouter in terms of her feature. She's a shot more refined in terms of her skull shape in relation to the one right behind her. I really like this heifer in second. I think a good, complete, fault-free kind of cattle that's good in terms of her build and structure. I think she's right in her body shape and long and level out through her hip. She's just a shot coarser there in terms of the shape to her skull, a shot more opened up in terms of her shoulder blade, but really good kind of cattle to come out and be second in this class. The performance outlier comes in third, and she displays it on paper when you study her in terms of her performance indicators. That's a big-bodied, extra high-performing kind of cattle that still ties it together neat, nice in terms of her silhouette. With her added altitude and height, I'd like to open her up in terms of her skeletal width and see her come with a shot more genuine turn to her upper body shape and a shot more genuine squareness and build when the cattle turn and leave you. Really nice, moderate, stout-featured kind of cattle comes out next. One that's just a shot coarser in terms of her build, just comes off a shot rounder in terms of her lines and design out here today. Young man coming out next, really long-bodied, high-performing kind of cattle that we need to change in terms of her front-end structure in order to allow her to just come out here and have a shot more presence and look when the cattle get out on the go, one that we'd like to just soften up in terms of her body shape. Young man's that's going to round out the class, big-bodied, really feminine when you study her in terms of how she's put together in her head and neck. That one's just a shot tighter in terms of her spine. We need to just pull her apart there in terms of her forerib and see her set down with a shot more foot and foundation in relation to her contemporaries.
Back over in our balancer show, really nice set of females out here within this March-April class. Heifer that wins the class kind of brings the full court press in terms of quality and having all the bells and whistles out here for me. Heifer that when she comes into the ring and the minute those feet hit the ground, got to really admire for overall soundness that she possesses. Gets out, takes a nice long stride. Get out here and look at this one from the side. One that gives you a nice, beautiful outline, I think, out here. Very elegant up through that front 1/3 from her shoulders back. One you've really got to appreciate. She's level top, level from hooks to pins. Really deep through the center portion of that body, but yet does so in such a fresh and elegant package out here. Really like the underline and undercarriage that we see in that female as well. For one that is this age, you can tell she's already making a bag. Going to be nice uddered. Really like the teat placement that you see there as well. Get back here to this second place female. I think there's a world of good in this one as well. Get to really study in this one and looking at her, you got to really like the added femininity that you see up through that front 1/3. The power that she possesses when you get around behind her. She's got some width to those pins. It carries it down low. Really nice. Really fresh too in her overall in the way she's presented out here. Female that can get out and go fairly good. Heifer that maybe doesn't have quite that unique or elite look up through that front end or tie in quite as neat as our first place female, but one that runs a hard race out here, I think, within this class. I like our third place female a lot. I thought she was a strong contender for second. Another one that's very soft, very broody in her overall makeup. I think adequate in terms of her soundness. Maybe like to change up the way she kind of holds those front feet, wants to get them turned out just a notch. I think that goes with having just a shot more conditioning than I'd like to see out here. I think you green this one up a little bit between now and the next show, and she's one that can come up and run a race with that heifer that we've got in second today. Then we get to the young man's heifer that rounds out the class out here in fourth. Another one that possesses some true power as you get around behind her, some width down that top that you really have to appreciate. Maybe not quite as neat up through the front 1/3. Female that's not quite as deep through the center portion of her body or through that rear flank area as the heifers that are above her in the class today. Congratulations on a nice class of females.
Over here on the limousine side, we have a high-performing, big outline kind of female to represent this class as a single entry, and she's certainly deserving of doing so. And this one's parked on the standstill. She's great in terms of her symmetry and balance. She's a big-bodied, soft hind-legged one. In an ideal world, we need to relax that one in terms of the angle to her shoulder blade. I think as a result, that would help her just carry her spine with a shot more symmetry, with a shot more quality when we get her out here. But I think a nice, high-quality female to go ahead and represent this class.
And placings in your limousine Class 7 are as followed. First place goes entry number 42, Delilah Labor, ELCX Kesha 192, exhibited by Delilah Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. Second place goes entry number 45, GCC Queen 235, exhibited by John Crawford of Big Pool, Maryland. Third place goes entry number 46, CELL Elegant Style 2465, exhibited by Chesney Stigmont of Maxwell, Iowa. Fourth place goes entry number 43, MKJM ELCK Charmer 277K, exhibited by Michaela Jo Massey of London, Kentucky. Fifth place goes entry number 44, TSSBTOM Lucky Charms, exhibited by Rylan Vag of Lewisburg, West Virginia. Sixth place in that class goes entry number 41, PRF Kayla ET, exhibited by Jackson Kidd of Sandy Hook, Kentucky. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Over in our balancer ring, we've got a single entry female February out here, one that just brings a lot to the table. Another one that you wouldn't be lying when you said this one could stand some more competition. This is one that'll make you sit up and pay attention, I think. Another one from the ground up. You evaluate her, you really got to like the foot size that you see and the shape in that foot when she comes in the ring. Heifer that's got some substance of bone as well. Heifer in terms of her structure, you look at that knee and the way it locks in. So nice and pretty, the way this female blends up through that front 1/3. Really nice for one that is this powerful. This is a female that you get up on her. She's bold sprung, she's wide based. She's a female that really exhibits some power traits out here, but yet does so in a ladylike way. Very deserving class winner. We'll look forward to having her back here in just a moment.
And first place in class number 8 of your balancer female show goes to entry number 23, Butler's Miss Kesha K549, exhibited by Braylon Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. Second place goes to entry number 22, Julia 830F, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. Third place in Class 8 goes to entry number 21, GFDNF Cardi, exhibited by Macy Newton of Seneca, South Carolina. Fourth place goes to entry number 20, Haley K010, exhibited by Braden Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. And first place in Class 9 goes to entry number 24, Butler's Miss Kayla 549K, exhibited by Butler Creek Farms of Milton, Tennessee. We'll now be selecting your champion junior heifer calf.
As we get out here in this bred heifer division of this balancer show, got a couple females out here in contention for champion and reserve that when I was on my way out to do this, I got to thinking, what's going to come in the ring today? And this is kind of what was in my imagination. I just know what this Gelbvieh breed can bring in terms of balancer females. And I think all three of the heifers really out here exemplify what the Gelbvieh breed can offer in a crossbreeding situation. The heifer that I talked about that wins the first class, that's there to my right, female that's truly elegant out here, one that too for me is really managed well in terms of her overall freshness. Commented earlier, love the soundness you see in her as she enters the ring. one that gets out and goes very freely out here on the move. Female that's long-sided as well, one that just in terms of outline and package out here, one you just want to gravitate towards. The heifer directly behind her that wins the last class, as you've heard me say throughout this show, if you're here looking at females or looking at bulls, be sure and pick what you like for your program. If you're looking for one that might have just a shot more power, in terms of width when you get around behind them, this might be your female right here. Extremely powerful one that's great big in terms of right in there through the center portion of her body. Another one that's really good in terms of her forerib and the way she blends that back through her flank. Really, really nice. I think there's some subtle differences in these females, and as I said, it boils down to personal preference and what you're picking to take home with you today. For me, the heifer to my right that wins the first class fits me today. She's going to be our champion in this division. We're going to come right back to the single entry female. She's going to be our reserve. Congratulations, though, to all three of these exhibitors out here.
Over on the limousine side, I think a really high-quality female that needs to go ahead and come to the forefront of this class rather handily, in my opinion. You want to talk about one that's just so relaxed and good in terms of her angles. She's moderate, right, in terms of her body shape. You study that one in terms of genuine skeletal width, and she's really pulled apart there in her sternum, and that translates into her forerib and how bold she is up high. One with some genuine strength when you study her out through her hip and pin set. She's proportional when you take it to the ground in terms of being a big featured cattle that I think just gets out and goes so eloquently. Really high quality female to rise to the top end of this class. The next one coming out, if she's big enough for you, she's a darn good one, and she is big enough for me in terms of the kind of forages that I run on at home. This is kind of the size of what my September replacement heifers look right now. That one's moderate, dense, big-bodied, great in terms of her running gear. She doesn't quite have that elite kind of presence and look as that one just ahead of her in relation to that impressive class winner. I'd like to just open her up and lengthen her out in terms of her spine and her hip just ever so slightly. Genuine width, mass, and horsepower sort the next two, and it was a tough call for me. But the young ladies that's coming out next is a long-bodied, bold, opened up one that I think is incredibly stout when you study her out through her hip. I think she's functional in terms of her build. However, I do think she could hit her step with just a shot more coordination in her hock joint. I'd like to see her come down just a hair square in her knee when you study her coming right at you. One coming out next sports a really nice set of EPDs, and that's a long-bodied one that's really fresh in terms of her condition, and you can study it through her head shape, through her neck set there, one that pulls herself together with a lead amount of presence. From there back, I'd just like to open her up in terms of her forerib, soften her up in terms of her flank, in terms of in relation to those cattle just ahead of her. Big, stout, and burly female comes out next. That's one's really opened up high, really stout and square out through her hip and pin set in relation to the cattle just ahead of her. Just needs to pull herself together with a shot more look and balance.
And over on your balancer side, I would like to take this time to reintroduce your judge for today, Mr. Travis Pembrook. Travis, along with his wife Beth and sons Brent and Bryson, own and operate Pembrook cattle in Fairview, Oklahoma, on land that has been owned and operated with the family for 5 generations. The Pembrooks primarily produce Angus and Red Angus cattle, along with raising a mix of Key, Simmental, and May genetics to help meet a growing demand for those heifers. Throughout the year, Travis and his family host a spring production sale at the ranch, along with also having numerous online sales. If you could please join me in giving Mr. Travis Pembrook one more round of applause for being out here with us on your Balancer Show.
Back out here in our Gelbvieh Balancer lineup, before I get into the cattle a little bit, just like to congratulate these exhibitors for bringing us such a fine set of cattle out here this evening. It's probably we get this late at night. These cattle get a little bit hard to work with. Exhibitors have done a great job out here getting these cattle exhibited and getting them shown and looking their very best, and just want to commend them on that. Want to commend them on the quality that we've had out here within this show as well. As I commented on earlier today when I started, the Gelbvieh breed is one that my wife and I were involved with for a number of years. And I can remember when the balancer thing first kind of fired up, and it seems like the Gelbvieh breed were one of the first ones to kind of go and embrace that and coin the term balancers. And it was just fun to watch that and be a part of it for a little while, and now see what that has progressed into out here in front of us this evening. Getting back into the cattle a little bit, heifer that wins the first division. Tremendous amount of future, I think, in this one. Young lady does a great job getting her shown out here to us this evening. Female that just in terms of power, in terms of muscle expression, in terms of width down that top, it's a female that really brings it out here. I think there's a tremendous amount of future to this female. You know, I talked about her a little bit there in class. You're going to get picky, maybe like to green her up just a notch, but on one that's built this way, I know that's easier said than done. That's an easy keeping kind of a female. And we get back to the one that is out of the second division, the fall division. That was kind of a tough class. Young man's female kind of excelled out there. One that's very elegant in the way she presents herself out here on the side view profile. Love her outline, love that maternal, broody kind of a look, really deep through the center portion of her body, yet has been maintained very fresh. Really appreciate that about that heifer. That's a female, if you're out here looking, you know, that's one that kind of gravitate to in terms of this lineup out here. Then we get back to the gentleman's female that wins the third division. Maybe not quite as powerful as some of the heifers on either side of her out here tonight, but a female, when you really study her outline and her look that she gives you, she's one that gives you a feminine kind of appearance up through that head and neck area. Heifer that, for being green out here, still has some depth through the center portion of that body. Got a big old stout square hip in her as well. Maybe just gives up a little performance to those on either side. Heifer that wins that last division, we've talked about her a lot. Heifer that, for me, just very elegant in her appearance out here, very maternal in her overall makeup. What you see is what you get with her. Talked about earlier, you know, really appreciate the undercarriage that you see in her, the early signs of how her teat placement is going to be. Looks to be perfect tonight. Got to really appreciate that about her as well. Another contender is the heifer that was reserved to her in that division a moment ago. Got to admire the power that you see in this one, the boldness in terms of her forerib, the depth through the center portion of her body as well. Heifer that just does a lot of things right for me out here within this lineup this evening. That being said, I think I've got a pair in mind for me tonight, but again, just want to congratulate these balancer female exhibitors for bringing us such a nice set of females. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause.
And your grand champion balancer female here at the 50th anniversary of the North American goes to entry number 23, Butler's Miss Kesha K549, exhibited by Braylon Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion balancer female goes to entry number 24, Butler's Miss Kayla 549K, exhibited by Butler Creek Farms of Milton, Tennessee. Congratulations. And we are ready for Class 12 Spring Bulls, Balancer Bulls.
Over here on our limousine side, we get into a really competitive, extremely high quality fall-born division, and the female out of the first class just did so in terms, won her class just in terms of basic brood cow feature. I like that one's moderation and density. She's ultra bold and pulled apart in terms of her body shape. She sets down on a soft hind leg. Is she quite as just seamless in terms of her outline as some of these other cattle? No, but I think we certainly need to note her out here in terms of one that looks to be one that could certainly mature into an extra productive kind of mother cow for the young lady. Really tough class here in the second class of the division, and I like the way this one came back out here. Moderate, huge bodied. I think she's great in terms of her structure. You study that one coming and going. She's so square and genuine in terms of her build. I like her in terms of her foot shape. I think that one's right in terms of her body shape. She's long and level out through her hip and just puts it all together in such a smooth package. An extremely high quality animal to represent that class. We've got a single entry out here next, and one we talked about just being high performing, big bodied one that can certainly give you a nice look from the side. We just like to fix her in terms of her skeleton, see her come just a shot more relaxed in terms of her spine when she gets out on the go. The one out of the final class here, one that's certainly overwhelming in terms of the rest of the lineup, in terms of skeletal width, boldness, and mass. You study that one through her sternum. She's really opened up in terms of her chest width, and we just talked about how that relates to her added turn up high, one that's really bold and pulled apart in terms of her forerib. She's stout out through her hip. I think when that one gets out on the go, she's athletic from the side. I think she gets out and reaches with a tremendous amount of athleticism. In a perfect world, when we study that one going right away from you, she'll want to bow in at her hock joint and roll on the outside of her hoof wall just ever so slightly. I think we get down and we really get to thinking about complete cattle, fault-free cattle that certainly still pull everything together with an elite amount of look and balance. It's the young ladies out of the second class. She'll be our champion. We'll pull that second place back in for consideration. We pull that second place one back out here, and again, as we said, what a competitive class, and that's an extra good kind of female that's right in her body shape. I think she's good in terms of her structure. We talked about her in class in relation to that one that wins, just being a shot plainer in terms of the shape to the top side of her neck, a shot coarser in terms of her skull shape. There's one that really does it for me in terms of having some added power and mass out here. It'll be the female out of the last class, so be reserved.
Back over in our Gelbvieh Balancer show. This will be a nice start to our show. We've got a March single entry automatic division winner out here. Calf that as he enters the ring, you really have to admire for the structural integrity and the longevity you see in this guy. Great set of feet and legs. Love the hind leg set we see in him as well. It's a bull in terms of early growth. You really got to appreciate that about him as well. Brings a lot to the table in that regard. Calf that's up-headed, pretty fronted. One looks to pins, maybe like to just lengthen him out, just make his hip just a notch longer for me out here tonight. Maybe wants to get a tick rounder. Get past that, though. Really nice way to start off our Balancer Bull show.
And first place in class number 12 over in your Balancer Bull Show goes entry number 29, a DNF Addict of Two Diamonds, exhibited by Caitlin Newton of Westmaster, South Carolina. That will also be your automatic Division 5 champion. Now in the ring is class 14 Balancer Bulls.
Another nice single entry automatic class and division winner out here in our Balancer show. Bull that very rugged and useful in his overall makeup, one you've got to admire for the overall muscle expression that he exhibits out here. Bull that's very good in terms of testicular development as well. Maybe like to clean him up through that front end just a notch, give him a little more length of neck out here. But bull that's very deserving, one that could sure stand some more competition out here within this class and division. Congratulations.
And first place in class 14 and automatic division champion goes into number 30. Next move exhibited by Paris Cattle Farms of Canton, North Carolina. Congratulations. And now in the ring is class 16. And placings over in class 9 in your limousine show are as followed. First place goes into number 52, TASF Keep It Classy 68 1K, exhibited by Ben Spencer of Gibbon, Nebraska.
Back over in our balancer bull show, another single entry out here, and here's one that'll make you sit up and pay attention a little bit. One of the more useful bulls we've had in the show, I think, so far out here. Bull you've got to admire for his feet and legs and his overall structure as you watch him get out and go around the ring. He's one that's very clean sheet. It's hard to get one this clean sheet that has this much power. Bull, as you watch him turn around here and get around behind him, gotta love the base width and the power you see in him from behind, the width, the top, ties that all in, blends it into just such a nice eye-appealing package. Love the length of side you see in this guy, the length and extension up through that front 1/3 as well. Extremely high quality out here in our Balancer Bull Show. Congratulations to this exhibitor.
And first place in Class 16 goes entry number 31, Pit Boss 205K, exhibited by T-Bar S Cattle Company of Billings, Missouri. That would also be your Division 7 champion. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 18. And your Division 3 of your limousine show goes to entry number 42, ELCX Kesha 192K, exhibited by Delilah Labor of Hillsboro, Ohio. And your Reserve Division 3 champion goes to entry number 52, TAS Keep It Classy 681K, exhibited by Ben Spencer of Gibbon, Nebraska. And please note that entry number 58 in Class 10 was a scratch, so now in the ring is Class 11 limousine females.
Again, in our Balancer Bull Show, another very nice single entry automatic division winner, senior yearling bull. Got to commend these exhibitors that feed these bulls this long and bring them to town. Really nice to see a bull that with some age on them that has this amount of quality out here. Bull that is relatively sound structured when you ask him to get out and go. Like his hind legs set, like the muscularity we see in him as well. Bull that just does a lot of things right out here. One we'll look forward to having back in just a few moments. Congratulations.
And first place in Class 18 and automatic Division 8 champion in your Balancer show goes entry number 32. Fiesta's Lucky One, exhibited by TB Cattle Company of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Congratulations. We're now ready for the selection of your grand champion Balancer Bull here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. Again, we are ready for the selection of your grand champion Balancer Bull. Folks around ringside, if you could join me and give me one more round of applause for your judge, Travis Piedmont from Oklahoma.
As we get back out here in our Balancer Champion Bull Drive, again, just want to congratulate these exhibitors for bringing us such a powerful set of Balancer bulls out here this evening. The bull that wins the first division, the March calf, I believe, is one we talked about. Just a lot to offer here. This will be one that'll be fun to see a year from now if he shows back up here. Bull that has an excellent set of feet and legs and running gear underneath him. One of the longer sighted bulls out here within this lineup. I appreciate that about him. One that for this stage of the game, you got to like the early performance curve that you see in him as well. Really muscular in his overall appearance. That being said, you know, I mentioned a little bit, maybe like to level him out from hooks to pins just a notch, but that's an awfully nice calf with a world of future ahead of him. The bull that comes out of the second division, one that sure possesses some power traits out here, one that's very rugged in his overall kind, very useful in his kind, like the depth of rib that we see in him. As I mentioned earlier, maybe like to clean him up through that sheath just a notch, maybe pull him out right up through that front 1/3 a little bit in that neck area. But as I said, very useful in his kind. Then we get to the bull out of the third division, one that you just sort of want to gravitate towards when he comes in the ring. Bull that checks all the boxes for me out here good in terms of feet, good in terms of legs and overall structure. Love the muscularity, you know, the muscle expression that we see in this guy and the way he blends that in so smooth. Really long-sided, a bull that, as I said in class as well, long and extended up through that front end. Just super high quality, no matter what breed you put him into. And we get back to the Red Bull I just talked about. Very useful in his kind. Another one that is extremely muscular out here, like what he possesses in terms of his ability to bring pounds to the table and his offspring as the years go by. Bull that's sound structured, another one that runs a really hard race out here within this lineup as well. That being said, I got a couple in mind that really suit me here tonight. I'll go show you which two those are. Congratulations again to all of our Gelbvieh exhibitors and balancer exhibitors. It's been great to be out here and evaluate your cattle this evening. Thank you.
And your grand champion balancer bull here at the 50th anniversary of the North American goes entry number 31, Pit Boss 205K, exhibited by T-Bar S Cattle Company of Billings, Missouri. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion balancer bull goes to entry number 32, Fiesta's Lucky One, exhibited by TB Cattle Company of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Again, congratulations to all Gelbvieh and Balancers exhibitors for a successful show here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. God bless, and we hope to see you next year.
Over here on the limousine side, I think an initial trio of cattle that are really tough to sort through because each one of them certainly has a class advantage in one trait. In my opinion, this female that's going to win does so in terms of freshness and structure. I think that's the freshest, sharpest featured female when you study her in terms of her skull. When you study her there in the top side of her neck, she is the most relaxed.